Now, dogs for tuning in my channel, and today I'm going to show you how to make at least 10, but possibly 20 or even 30 pounds on this short. Now, just Junkies. I don't know this brand. I'm not a brand person. I don't need to know, because this is not what I'm doing. I build up a business which everybody can do without knowing much. Now, all you need to know is just what I perfected in the past 20 years, which I experienced, the fails, the thousands of pounds I put in by failing. I did not have a mentor. I did it the hard way. But sometimes, in fact, 99% of the cases, if you use a path which is not walked and there is no pathway, so you have to go through a bush, through a little jungle, through obstacles, you in the end appreciate what you have achieved much more, and you will be able to be proud of yourself much more than if you follow a path which many people used before. Because this is the same as you follow the herd. Yeah? The lamb, the sheep, it follows the herd, and if you follow the herd, you follow a lot of asses. Yeah? Of course, you're a follower. But if you come off of this path and go into an area where nobody was before, now that's where the magic happens. And this is an example when you go fishing. Now imagine a river, and there is a path, and you walk on this path, and then to the left there is another path. You go in there, someone sits already there. So you can't just go next to this guy and start fishing because he's going to tell you to sold off. Yeah? You go further, there's another path. You go in there, but it's full of lines, full of hooks, because people already fish there. All the stuff is in the water, so your hook gonna be tangled all the time. Yeah? You don't like it. You carry on going. There's another path. Easy to go in there. Boom. You go in there. There's no fish. Because the guy, one of the guys goes, or everybody goes there every day and takes all the fish out. Yeah? The fish realize, and he's busy here, we're not going to go there. And you walk and you walk and you walk. And all of a sudden, it's like a huge bush with a lot of nettles and a lot of whatever, dodgy stuff which can take your skin off. And you go like, you dress up nicely with some heavy duty clothes. You take a machete or something and you just walk your way in there. You make the path. And all of a sudden, you come to a part of the river which is untouched. There are no obstacles. Nobody was there before. And you set up your little camp there. You put in the bait, you put in the hook, and you're going to just take the fish out left, right, and center. Now, those others who follow the path, which has already done and nice and easy to go in there, now those others, they're not going to be catching a lot. They will be catching, but not a lot. So following a path, it's not the right way forward if you want to be successful. Now, you can claim now and say, oh yeah, but in this business I'm following your path. Yeah, that is correct. But we're talking about 65 million people in this country, and my research and all my investigations on several media platforms, social media platforms, nobody ever mentioned that business before. So I can assume nobody does it. Now, if I do it, and I only really do it just to show you that it can be done, and you do it, and another 1,000 people do it, another 10,000 people do it, it's not going to make much difference, because one is doing it in Manchester, the other one is doing it in Edinburgh, the other one is doing it up in Ray in Scotland, the one is doing it in York, in Bath. The market, this market to do this, is not saturated. So you do follow my path, but you need to have a mentor. I mean, Bruce Lee had a mentor. You can't just turn up and do it, you know, without a trainer, without a mentor, without a sports psychologist. Emma Raducanu wouldn't be there where she is. You can't just pick up a racket, go on and win the US Open. You need to have mentors, but I hope you're smart enough to be able to read between the lines. However, if you follow those TikTokers and those YouTubers who put this information, who put their information out there for free, then you come across a lot of websites and a lot of people who 99% of them lie to you because they are paid by those companies to make this advertise. And therefore, I'm not mentioning these companies because I don't want them to know that I talk about them. Because I don't want them to change anything in the system. Because all I'm doing is just to beat the system. But legally, without lying, without cheating, without harassment, without ripping people off, nothing. Just legally using the system towards my benefits. And that's precisely what I'm doing with WooCode.com as well. I'm the CEO. This is the biggest idea ever since the internet was invented. Now, imagine the situation. What you've got out there. You've got out there Facebook, you've got out there YouTube, you've got there print test, you've got out there LinkedIn, Snapchat, TikTok, all of them. The Twitter, big guys, amazing. Now, if you at Leicester Square or at Piccadilly in Manchester, and you have an hour to kill, and you would like to share some information in terms of you would like to hook up with someone for a beer or for a meal, but someone who is really on your mental level and have the same interests. Now, all you do, you go to WooCode.com, you drop the pin, the program knows where you are, logical, boom, GPS, and you say, looking for a drinking buddy. Yeah? For an hour. Because you know that you only for an hour there, let's say maybe it's your lunchtime or you have an hour to kill. You hit save and you forget about it. I come along, I also have an hour to kill. I also like to drink beer, and I'm also an engineer like you. I drop my pin because we're next to each other potentially. We only 10, 50 meters or maybe a half a mile or maybe 200 meters from each other. You're in this bar and I'm on that bar. I drop the pin and say, okay, within the radius of 150 meters or 100 yards, I want between 12 and 1 at Piccadilly in Manchester, a beer with a guy who is also an electronics engineer. Or, for that matter, with a girl. But I don't want this guy to be older than 50, and he needs to be not younger than 40. Yeah? Boom. I put this information up too, and go into the bar, and before I order my beer, I've got to tick on my phone. I take my phone out, and it's like, wow, it's a match. Text, hey, where are you, man? Boop, boop. And we are hooked up. Right? Now, if you put that up on Twitter, hey, I'm a Piccadilly, some of your followers, maybe from Afghanistan or from Pakistan, or, well, depends who you are, or from Romania, or they read it that your Piccadilly want a beer, but the chances that one of your followers, or one of the people who follow or you follow on Twitter, will be at Piccadilly at the very same time, and they also want a beer, and they're also electronics engineers, and they're also between 40 and 50, it's highly unlikely. And apart from them, those are people you don't know. And if you don't meet new people, if you don't talk to strangers in life, you're never ever gonna make any new friends. But that's where hugo.com comes in.